Okay, so this is worse than I thought. Now on Christmas Eve, I crashed my Liberty Walked Maserati Granturismo. But when I say crashed, I mean I was crashed into. And this is the sort of aftermath, which has been a fair bit of a nightmare. But before we assess and start stripping apart the Maserati, there's a few things I need to show you guys before. For those that missed the video, it's in the top right hand corner now, but just to explain it real quick, I was queuing up at a petrol station. The petrol station is next door to a car wash. Whilst I was queuing up to get some fuel, there was a person in a blue van which reversed straight into the front of the Maserati Granturismo. After getting out and asking the guy if he had any insurance, he got insurance. Which he replied with, well, no reply. I found out that he didn't even own the van and he was just driving the van into the car wash and he worked for the car wash. And after that, we all exchanged details and we was hoping that this would have been sorted. But let me show you. So now we're on the way to where it happened, the garage where it happened. I know what you're all thinking. Why are you taking another Italian car to where your last Italian car got crashed into? But let me show you why I'm not so worried about it being crashed into this time. That is because the car wash, well, it's no longer. So this is the exact place where the Maserati had its incident. I came in here and I was waiting to get fuel over there when it got reversed into. And only about 3 weeks ago, there used to be a hand car wash right here. And quite ironically, no brushes, no rollers, no scratches. There is absolutely nothing here anymore. They have well and truly up and left. Now, after speaking to the garage, they've told us a fair few things, one of which we can get the CCTV footage of the Maserati being hit into, two of which apparently they've hit 3 cars since then. I don't know how, and also they haven't paid a water bill since April, and well, that could be the whole reason why they left. It just got a little bit too much and well, they've gone. So with all that in mind, that kind of leaves us with a few options. Got the option of going through my insurance, going through the insurance of the guy with the blue van, contacting the police, but honestly the one that's going to cause us the least hassle is for us to just fix it ourselves. Now I feel like some of you may be confused. Matt, there's no need for the sad music. This is nothing compared to the cars that you've rebuilt. And I hope that is the case. But we all know about the attachment that we get when we put so much time and effort into building our cars. Luckily, I should be able to fix this myself at an expense, but it's something that we shouldn't have to do all over again. Now, before we get the Maserati inside to start to repair and start to assess the damages, we've got to get the C63 off the ramp, and right now, it has really no suspension connected to it at all. So I'm going to grab myself a quick Y-Food, who have sponsored today's video, and then we're going to crack on with the work. Y-Food is a meal replacement drink, and it includes 26 vitamins and minerals. No, it's not a diet drink or a protein shake, it simply just replaces a meal. It's perfect for people like me who are constantly on the go. It's a nice, healthy alternative for me just grabbing a bit of fast food at my lunchtime. Not only is it full of the vitamins and nutrients that your body needs, they also have a new vegan-friendly range. The bottle is also 100% recyclable as well, which is good for clumsy people like me when you end up dropping it all over the workshop floor. There is loads of different flavours to choose from. They're lactose-free, gluten-free, high in fibre, high in protein, and there's no added sugar. So if you want to try Y-Food today, then you can do by clicking the link in the description box below. You can go grab a taster pack and find your favourite flavour, and with help from this banner appearing underneath you right now, you're going to save yourself a nice little discount as well. Trust me, you won't regret it. Now the C63 has taken a massive hit to the driver's side wheel, and although it looks like only one suspension arm is missing, I'm going to be replacing the whole leg, just because you don't know what parts are going to be bent and what parts are going to be straight. And here's a perfect example. The bolt holding on the front suspension arm was completely bent. Now the caliper and the brake disc look fine, so I'm going to be removing them. And then I'm removing the wheel hub from the suspension strut. Just 3 top mount bolts to undo, and then I can remove the suspension strut away from the car. And here's the brand new second-hand suspension leg and arms that I managed to get from CLAVERDON, Salvage and Spares. They break loads of cars in Birmingham, and I put a link to their shop in the description box below. Now if you watched the previous video, you see that we need to replace the subframe as well. So I'm only roughly going to be putting this suspension on because the subframe has got to come off at a later date. And it turns out the subframe is actually bent here as well, stopping the front suspension arm going in. So I had to just improvise here. But that should be enough so we can roll this thing out. All that's left to do is put the track rod end into the wheel hub, take the disc off the old one, pop it on the new one along with the caliper, and then bolt up all the steering rack. And it's about ready to go. Yes, the C63 is back on the ground. It's small progress, but it's progress. Now, instead of pushing this thing out, we should actually be able to start this thing up and drive it out at the moment. We know it starts, but we don't know whether it goes in gear yet. We can start it by moving the starter motor cable over onto the actual electrics of the car. Remember, this pyrotechnics fuse is stopping the car from being started because when the airbags blow inside the car, which they have, that stops the power going to the starter motor. But all we've got to do is lift that thing off and put it to that cable there, and we should be able to start this thing. Okay, second ever time this starts up. Will you be good to me? Mercedes C63, come on. Of course, obviously, I love this car. 100% reliable. Yes, we are moving. The steering is all over the place because I probably put the steering back in incorrectly. The C63 is out of the building. Oh yeah. She sounds good. Out with one crash damaged car and in with another. Oh, now that is not sounding good. Now I have cleaned the Maserati up a bit, and I admit it does look a lot better. It doesn't look as bad as I initially thought, but it's still damaged, and with it being a Maserati, it's going to be expensive. So first thing, the headlight, as you imagine, these are not going to be cheap, but the actual outside of it and the sort of plastic on the outside is all good. It just seems, well, I think there's a load of clips or something that is broken at the back, but we'll find out when we get it in the ramp. Then on this part here, so this is part of the Liberty Walk kit, and as you know, I'll just put a part of a Liberty Walk kit on the screen now. You can see that these are very expensive, and this is genuine Liberty Walk. And then we have this bumper here. This is all fiberglass as well, and that is completely, well, it looks like it's split there, and then also underneath here, along with this grille being pushed in as well. But I think we've got away with it quite likely, being that it did go quite fast in there. There would have been an issue if it went into the wheels, which were custom built as well, which that would have been a big issue. But I think we got away with it quite likely, but I don't want to speak too soon because, well, we've not taken it off, and I can see there's some damage under there as well, along with the front splitter. It's really not that bad comparing to what I'm used to, but it's still damage, which I didn't really have to want to repair. And there's only one way to find out how bad it actually is, and that's to get this thing up and just inspect all the parts, including that headlight as well. So here we go. This is where it starts to go downhill. Now, if an insurance company wants to come out and assess this, I'm pretty sure they would just write the car off, as they do with a lot of cars nowadays, because they never quite know the full extent of damage until they actually get all the bumpers and all the damaged parts off. The damage you can see on the outside is only the surface of it. And remember, insurance companies have to replace everything like for like, brand new. So we found that the arch lining is damaged, and now we're moving on to the headlight. All I had to do was remove the electrical connector, and the headlight just came out, and well, it shouldn't do that. There should be 3 bolts holding the headlight in, all of which were still attached to the car. And then of course we've got the front bumper damage, which we've all seen, but just to be sure, I wanted to take the front bumper off, just to be sure there was no damage underneath. Once I've undone the bumper from both sides, I could then lift the bonnet up, undo the bolts on the top of the bumper, and then there's about 1 million bolts holding in the plastic engine cover. And I could finally access the final bolts holding the bumper in to reveal more damage. Okay, so this is worse than I thought. So first off, we've obviously got the damage to the bumper, which we could see from the outside. And I think, well, I hope that can be repairable. I'm pretty sure Colourcraft can sort out with the fiberglass. They are masters at that sort of stuff. Then we've just got a few scratches to the side of the Liberty Walk kit. Luckily, this thing is not damaged. It's just scratched up, so hopefully with liquor paint and a bit of polish, that could be sorted. So that's not too bad. And then the arch lining, again, this is sort of makeshift arch lining because the original arch lining doesn't fit because of the wide arches. And this is sort of damaged, has been rubbing, but again, that can be sorted. It's not going to be too expensive. But this is where it begins to get a little bit more expensive. Well, a lot more expensive. So this is the headlight. As you can imagine, this will be expensive, and I've actually modified this headlight by painting the inside and also smoking the front as well. So if we do buy a new one, it's going to be hard to sort of replicate that side, but on this headlight, every single clip which holds the headlight in has broken. So that is, well, it's a bit unfortunate, but I'm hoping we might be able to get a repair kit for the actual clips and sort of repair this for as cheap as possible, because obviously we're having to foot the bill. But I almost expected all those parts to be damaged. I could almost see it from the outside, and the speed that he hit me, I was surprised it actually didn't do more damage, but it actually did. Okay, so this huge part here, this sort of slam panel and part of the crash bar is one big piece of metal. Also from here, that looks like it's detachable. And then I noticed this, that's not too much of an issue, but this all holds on and mounts the bottom of the bumper here with the brackets, the horn and everything like that. And also notice that, well, it is completely snapped off from the bottom there. I think this is all aluminium. It snapped off on this side here, which sort of explains, I mean, it did go pretty quick, shunted the side here, and well, that is all detached. And well, I need it to sort of hold on the bumper, but again, I don't think it's actually really like part of the structure. I mean, it just literally holds stuff and mounts stuff on there. So it might be almost repairable with some tack welds or something like that, but let me show you the price of this actual part, second hand. That crash bar, which is all one piece, second hand, is £995. That's second hand as well, and that's the cheapest one. It's the only one I can find. I can't imagine how much it would actually be from Maserati itself. I thought I'd gotten off lightly, but turns out not so lightly after all. Well, there we have it. The Maserati is looking a little bit sorry for itself. No bumper, no headlight. It definitely looks worse than it is. Look at that. But we've got a plan of action. I'm now going to take the front bumper up to Colourcraft to get that repaired and painted. That shouldn't be an issue. Then the headlight, I'm going to try and repair that with some plastic welds. That should hopefully repair it quite cheaply. And then the front crash bar, I'm hoping we could just sort of tack weld that, but we'll have to see. But we will get the Maserati back on the road looking better than ever with a freshly painted bumper as well. But as always, there's ups and downs to car ownership and car modification, but that's exactly why I love it. And if you guys have enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.